Okay. 皆さんおはようございます。Morning, everyone. I need to show you my face. Right. I have a notepad, and then I'm gonna put my face here. Good morning. おはようございます。今日も日本語やります。We're in Japanese class right now. はい、今日はあるが一緒です。よいしょ。デイビッド先生は、馬運転中です。So David 先生 is driving currently, so I will be with you until he comes. So good morning. おはようございます。はい、あるくんおはようございます。よいしょ。So today I don't have the textbook with me, but I have some things. I have Bible, and then I have emotional cards. Maybe we can talk about emotions. And
No, okay.
Okay? No? Okay. And it's very interesting how to see him learning. He's currently listening to Spanish from his dad and Japanese from me. So, thank you. So he would learn words and he would say it, repeat it like in a different language, one thing at a time. Like he would see a airplane and he would say avión, which is airplane in Spanish. See, he just said hikoki. That's the word for airplane in Japanese. Avión, hikoki. And he might say お水はお水言っちゃったお水 is water. You can say 水 but you can say it nicer お水 put o and there are different words to put, but o it's to make it nicer, more respectful. So if you want to ask for water, instead of 水ください, you would say お水くださいお水ください So please, this is in Spanish keyboard. Okay. Water. お水ください This was airplane. Okay. お水はある子お水欲しい Okay, so now I hope you can see the screen on the Word document. So, do we know what the shortest verse in the Bible? Actually, I need to see the chat screen so I can see if you're typing something. Let's see. Does anybody know? Maybe. Pablo-san, ¿puedes abrir la puerta? ¿Abrir o cerrar? No, abrir la puerta frente. Okay. Anybody know? ¿Quién es? Huh? ¿Puedes abrir la puerta? Por favor, alguien está tocando. Okay. So the one that I'm thinking about is in John 11:36. Yeah. So, no, what happened? So in English, it's Jesus cried. So in Japanese, it's not that short. It's イエスは涙を流された. So he shed his tears. So 涙, イエスは so イエスは is like Jesus. Jesus is a subject, so it's イエスは おはようございます。なんかあんまり調子が良くない。そうかな。そう。イエスは涙を流された。That's the shortest verse. I lost where it is, but so, and I was looking at this. My son's learning emotions, so that's one of the things. 悲しい. So, 涙 is the tears. Okay, so 涙を流す. Like, pouring the tears. So, 悲しい is a word for sad. And Jesus cried, and we have times that we're sad. So, I think it's all the emotions that, well, we could keep going with the emotions, but the great thing is our teacher's here, so I'll have them take over. Just wanted to give something to you while we were reading, so I haven't pulled everything.
That's okay.
So what should we do?
We could just do vocab. So like,
but you still want to go to Marugoto, right?
Yeah, the Marugoto vocab. So we'll go to your Google Chrome or something. New, and then Marugoto.
So we're pulling up the textbook. So hold on a second, everyone. If you have any questions, you can type it. I think it keeps going on and off. Marugoto Japanese. If you don't know, there's Marugoto Japanese. This is a website you can go to pull the textbook material.
Download materials.
Okay. This?
That's that one.
Right.
English word book.
Right. Do you want to download it? Really? Okay. Hi. It's coming. はい、じゃあ、そう、この丸ごと、you can use to pull up and get all the lessons there. So that's accessible to you.
おはようございます。You got lesson. Floor lesson today. I'm on the floor. すごい. I'm gonna turn the computer this way. Okay, so you can see me better. おはようございます. Sorry guys, the traffic was absolutely terrible this morning because it's raining and people don't know how to drive suddenly when it's raining. I went by like 3 accidents on I-95. It was insane. すみません. I'm so sorry for being late. Okay, let's do some vocabulary. I think. Oh,
this is zabuton. You can. It's like a cushion when you sit on the floor. It's from Japan.
So Japanese. Okay. So last week we did these vocabulary. Where did we end up? 洗濯をします to wash clothes, I believe, right? So we're going to go forward with these right here. To clean in general. 掃除をします. Where did we end up? 掃除をします. To clean. 最近掃除しましたか? Did you clean recently? How about to cook? 料理をします. 料理をします. 料理をしますか? Do you cook? 大丈夫ですか? Okay. I'm going to take my mask off. 料理をします. To do some cooking, to cook. This Japanese R can be difficult, right? ら、り、る、れ、ろ. Okay, the tip of your tongue, ら, is kind of on the plateau behind your incisors. Behind that plateau, but kind of where it comes off, ら. And then your mouth has to form the vowel sound, ら. り、る、れ、ろ. Okay. If you want better videos, you can like go to YouTube. There's when I learned how to do the Japanese R, I learned from an article, a written article actually, many years ago. So you can find various resources online how to do the Japanese R. It's even more difficult here because we have a combined R, Y, combined R and Y. It's ri with yo, ri, yo, yo, ryori, okay, ryori o shimasu, to cook, to do some cooking. How about to do housework? The word for housework or chores in Japanese, kaji, kaji. And if you want to do chores or you want to do some housework, kaji o shimasu, kaji o shimasu, or just kaji shimasu, kaji shimasu, to do some housework. To take care of or to look after someone. This is a good one. 世話をします. 世話をします. Now, the person you are looking after will go before the no here, okay? I will look after a child. 子供の世話をします. I will look after a pet. ペットの世話をします. I will look after a baby, right? 赤ちゃんの世話をします. All right, to take care of. There's actually a phrase in Japanese, いつもお世話になっております. I had to learn this phrase in business Japanese class when I took business Japanese in university. And this is I guess, kind of a common phrase. You only really say it to someone who has taken care of you or who has really helped you out. Like, いつもお世話になっております, right? A lot of people will say this on the phone when they're like calling a company or if they're calling a service. お世話になりました. Like, thank you for taking care of me, something like that. So this is a good phrase to know in Japanese. The word to tidy up. This is a good one. 片付けます. 片付けます. 片付けます, right? It can mean tidy up, it can mean to clean up, to do some tidying, 片付けます. How about to help, to assist someone? 手伝います, 手伝います, 手伝います. Yeah. To us, this is more like to assist someone in doing something. Maybe you're assisting with cleaning the house or you're assisting with kaji, like housework, chores. 手伝います. Okay. To play. We have to be careful with this word. 遊びます. 遊びます. Yes, 遊びます can mean to play, as in children are playing in the park, right? 子供が公園で遊んでいます. 遊びます, right? To play. However, adults can also use this word just fine. I think in English, if an adult used the word to play, with other adult friends, it could have a strange meaning. In Japanese, when adults asobu, asobimasu together, it kind of means like hang out. It means more, we're going to hang out. We're going to do something together. Asobimasu. Okay? How about, just one note on that. When I was in college, my friends, my college, university-aged friends would say, they would try to speak English with me because I'm an English speaker. And they would often call me or text me and say, hey, let's play today. And I was like, what? Let's play? Asobimasu ne? Yeah, it means let's hang out, really. Let's do something. Here's the opposite, to take a rest, right? To not do anything, to rest. 休みます。休みます。休みます。This can also mean to like stay home from school. Not necessarily to skip, like you don't want to skip, but like you're just going to take a break from school for a day. 休みます。今日休みます。I will 休む。I will take a rest today. There's another word similar. ゆっくりします。ゆっくりします。To relax. This is a good one. ゆっくりします。I'm gonna relax. There's actually a few words that mean to relax. This is a good one to know. Very standard. ゆっくりします。今日ゆっくりしますか？ゆり先生。はい。今日ゆっくりしますか？あんまりゆっくりできない。Oh, she can't really take a rest. なるほど。頑張ってください。ありがとうございます。Alright, how about to send an email, to write an email. メールをします。メールをします。You could also say イメールをします。イメールをします。Either one. メールをします。Yeah, this word, メール, comes from mail. Hey! あるか。それ。はい。何それ？伝言。え？伝言？ペンチ？うん。あ、そう？あの子も日本語勉強する？日本語勉強する？ベイビーシャーク。かわいい。So cute. ベイビーシャークだね。ベイビーシャーク？かわいいね。Where was I? Oh, メール. I was saying メール comes from the English word mail, right? Do not get confused, okay? メール really only means email. It doesn't mean郵便. It doesn't mean the mail that you get from the post office. That's not what it refers to. It refers to emails. メール, email. How about the word for internet in Japanese? インターネット. 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 Okay? The word for internet. Now, I've never used it like this. インターネットをします. But I guess you could. インターネットをします to use the internet. Literally to do the internet. But I guess in this case it means to surf the internet. To use the internet. インターネットをします。インターネットをします。まあ、I've never used it like that. まあ、it's okay. Maybe you can. ゲームをします。ゲームをします。Game is game. します to do. To do a game. To play a game, right? ゲームをします。I like playing ゲーム。特にビデオゲーム。Video games especially. I like those. This could also mean video games. ゲームをします。If you want to make a phone call, if you want to call someone, 電話をします。Or 電話をかけます。Right? します to do. 電話 is a phone. So to do a phone means to call, to make a call. かけます means かけます has many meanings. When you use it with the phone, it means kind of like to pick up the phone or to just to make a phone call. 電話をかけます. Okay? Oh, here's a very relevant word to our group. お祈りをします. お祈りをします. This is a very kind of, not very, but this is more of a polite, formal way of saying to pray. Okay? お祈りをします. Right? The regular, plain, simple verb is 祈ります. 祈る, 祈ります. Okay? 祈ります just means pray. To pray. Okay? お祈りをします is kind of a formal, kind of rigid way of saying the same thing, to pray. Okay? And this can be used for really anything. If you're praying at a church, if you're praying for someone's health, you say, I'm praying for your success. It can be used to show your desire for them, your will for them, your wish for them. お祈ってます。祈っています right? I'm praying. Okay? How about some life choices here, some life activities? To smoke, to do some smoking, right? タバコを吸います。タバコを吸います。You will note that they use the word tobacco in Japanese. Tabako. Kawaii, so cute. Tabako o suimasu. Suimasu is the verb to inhale, right? To breathe in. Nani? Kawaii. Tabako suimasu ka? Do you smoke? Right? Tabako suimasu. To smoke. To do any exercise. To exercise. Undo shimasu. Undo shimasu. The word for exercise in Japanese, undo shimasu. Do you exercise? I want to know. Undo shimasu ka? Undo shimasu ka? Undo shimasu ka? Kitenai. How about, this is a common word in Japanese, to take a walk. Sanpo. Sanpo o shimasu. Sanpo. A sanpo is a walk. Just anywhere, throughout a park, in your neighborhood. When you want to say, I'm walking my pet, you will go on a sanpo. Okay? Sanpo o shimasu. If you want to do yoga, the word for yoga in Japanese, very difficult. Yoga. That's it. Yoga o shimasu. Yoga o shimasu. Dekinai. To do yoga. And if you guys do any of these, please let me know. I'd love to read the comments. Okay, how about this one? A friend is coming, or a friend comes to visit. Tomodachi ga kimasu. Tomodachi ga kimasu. Okay? Tomodachi. Tomodachi is friend, right? Or friends. It could be either one. In Japanese, we don't really distinguish between plurals so much. So this could mean a friend or friends. Tomodachi. Tomodachi ga kimasu. Kawaii. How about to chat with? To have a conversation. おしゃべりをします。おしゃべりをします。おしゃべり。おしゃべり? This also is kind of a maybe formal way or a really polite way of using this word. The real verb, the plain verb is しゃべる。しゃべります。しゃべります。And what they're doing here is making it a little more polite, a little more formal, I guess you could say. Now, the person you're chatting with, their name or their title or whatever, position, should go before to. To. If you want to say, I'm having a chat with my sensei, with my teacher, right? How do you say that? Sensei to おしゃべりをします。おしゃべりします。Either way. How do you say, I'm having a chat with my friend or my friends, right? We just talked about the word for friend, so which word would you use? Tomodachi, right? Over here, tomodachi ga kimasu. So tomodachi means friend. If you want to say I'm chatting with my friend or friends, tomodachi to おしゃべりをします. Which really means I will have a chat, right? I will have a chat with my friends in the future. Okay, moving on. Reading a newspaper. How many people do that these days? Reading a newspaper. The word for newspaper, 新聞. 新聞を読みます. 新聞を読みます. Right? The word for to read something, 読みます. 読みます. And 新聞 is newspaper. 新聞を読みます. I will read the newspaper. to read the newspaper. I wonder how many of us still do that today. My grandpa, he used to read Shimbun all the time. Lately, not so much. Okay, we have some items here. The word for book, very simple. Hon. Hon. H-O-N, that's it. Hon. It's a book. The word for magazine, zashi. Zashi. Okay. Remember, when you have two consonants like these double S's here, you're gonna kind of put some stress on that S-H-I sound. Zashi. Zashi. Okay. There is a little stress there. Zashi. This is the word for magazine. Any magazine. Let's get back to some verbs here. If you want to watch TV, テレビを見ます。テレビを見ます。テレビを見ます。テレビ is television, right? テレビ TV. 見ます。見ます is to watch, to see, right? 見ます. I'm looking, I'm watching something. Right now, I'm watching Yuri's computer. パソコンを見ます。パソコンを見てます。I'm looking at. Okay? テレビ. And here's just a little note. If you're a Japanese learner, I always have little tips and tricks if you are serious about studying Japanese. What I did when I was starting out, I actually took some flashcards and I wrote the Japanese word for an object in my room, and I taped the flashcard to the object. So every time I looked at the object, I could read what it was, and that helped me remember. I put a flashcard on my bed, I put a flashcard on my lamp, I put a flashcard over my bathtub, I put a flashcard on the sink, the balcony, over my closet, so I knew how to say closet. That's a really, I think, fun way of studying every day, right? Even with these, right? If you have a book that you never read and it's just sitting there for decoration, put a flashcard on it. Write hon. And that's it. So no English. Don't put any English. Just Japanese. Okay, do you see how helpful this could be? If you have some magazines lying around and you never read them, put a flashcard on it. Zashi, only the Japanese. How about your TV? You could put a flashcard on your television set. Terebi. Terebi, right? Television. Don't put the English, because you already know what it is, right? You already know what that object is. Now it's the trick of having your brain kind of form a new connection with that object, right? How about to listen to music? To listen to music. 音楽を聴きます。音楽。
音楽。
音楽。
あれ、音楽大好きだよね。
音楽。
音楽。音楽大好きだよね、あれね。
何？何？
誰かのだもんね。
何これ？怖い。静か。あれ大丈夫？ああ、乱暴。これは？うわ、loud。うるさい。うるさい。何これ？
ワンワン。
ワンワン。あ、そうだね。犬。ワンワン。
犬知ってるよね。
犬。犬。ワンワン。ワンワン。見て。何？
ダンコ。
ダンコ？ダンコ？何？何これ？uncomfortable。不愉快？気持ち悪い。気持ち悪いっていうか、居心地よくない。そうそうそう。居心地悪い。uncomfortable. Anyways, this is not the vocab we're doing. It's so cute. Where were we? 音楽。music. 音楽を kikimasu, right? Kikimasu means to listen to something. Kikimasu can also mean to ask, like ask a question. However, in this situation, we have ongaku, music, so we know, right? Context tells us this should mean listen. I'm listening or I will listen to music. Ongaku o kikimasu. How about this one? To keep a diary. Okay, to keep a diary. Nikki o kakimasu. Nikki, nikki. Look, here's a double consonant. You see K and K. Remember, in Japanese, when you see two consonants right there, there's some kind of stress. It has to be a little more powerful. Nikki. Okay? If it was just N-I-K-I, I would say Nikki. But this is Nikki. You're almost stopping yourself a little bit. Nikki. Nikki. So a Nikki, what is Nikki? Nikki could mean diary. It could also mean like a journal, right, that you keep. This person is writing in his Nikki, his journal probably. And the word for write, to write in Japanese, kakimasu. Kakimasu, to write. So in English we say, I keep a diary, I keep a journal, right? Or I'm keeping a journal. In Japanese, you say, I'm writing a journal, or I'm writing a diary, okay? Nikki o kakimasu. Nikki o kakimasu. Okay? And finally, let's move on to some adjectives. I know you've probably been getting bored with nouns and verbs. Let's describe some things right here. The word for adjective, if you didn't know, is this. Keiyoshi. Keiyoshi. This is the word for adjective. The word for busy. I'm so busy today. Isogashi. Isogashi. I'm so busy. This could also mean like a busy street or a busy intersection, right? There's many things going on, lots of people, maybe lots of cars, right? The highway today was so isogashi, so busy, many people. How about, let's go down here. The opposite of isogashi is hima, free time, right? Hima, hima, hima. I'm so, how do you say, not busy, basically. Hima, I have free time, right? Not occupied. Hima. When I was in university, I used to ask my sensei, like, oh, whenever you're hima, can I talk to you? But that's not really appropriate, I think, in that situation. She told me, oh, Davido, maybe you shouldn't use hima in this case, right? Maybe you should use like 時間があるとき when you have time, okay? When you have time. Hima implies like you're not really doing anything, right? You're not really doing anything right now. So she was a university professor, and university professors are probably always isogashi, right? Always busy. So in that situation, maybe it's not okay to use hima so much. 時間がある時 when 時間がある時 when you have time. Anyways, that's a little story about my experience with this interesting word, hima. And then the word for sleepy. Oh, I love this word. I'm always nemui, 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 nemui. Sleepy. Are you nemui? Nemui desu ka? Are you sleepy right now? I'll tell you what. I was nemui this morning. My brother, he's so funny. He kept me up until 2 in the morning, 2 a.m. last night, and I woke up. I tried to wake up at around 8:30. I was so nemui. 眠かったです。今でも眠いです。I'm sleepy even now. Nemui. Now, be careful. This word doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as tired. Okay? When you're tired, you're exhausted, right? You just don't have energy. Nemui means you want to sleep. You haven't slept in a long time and you want to sleep. Nemui. Now, if you want to say, I'm tired, I have no energy, I'm exhausted, the word for that, actually, I think we already studied it in a previous lesson. The word for that is tsukaremashita. Tsukaremashita. And you know what? I will write that for you because it's a good word. You should know this word. Why are there two screen sharing? Oh my goodness. Where did we put the notes? Oh, here we go. This is a good word to know. Tsukaremashita. Tsukaremashita. This is a kind of polite, formal way of saying I'm tired or I'm exhausted. If you want to be casual, which most people are, tsukareta. 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 I'm tired. I'm exhausted, right? Tsukareta. Tsukaremashita, right? Either way, one is more formal, polite, right, than the other. Okay? Let's talk about some activities and events. Katsudo, evento, right? Katsudo is like activities. Evento is events, right? They took that from English. Ooh, I wonder if you guys like any of these, right? We have some events here. Concerto. Concerto is a concert, right? Concerto. Okay. This can be a concert like how they show it in the picture, right? Some band is playing concerto. Or it could also mean like a classical orchestra concert, or maybe a jazz concert, concerto. It can mean many different types of concerts. How about the word for tennis? Oh, this is a hard one. Tennis. Tennis, right? So difficult. It comes from English. Tennis. How about the word for a museum? 博物館. 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 This is a museum. Usually, the 博物館 will hold exhibits for the natural world or history, artifacts, things like that. 博物館. On the other hand, we have a 美術館. 美術館. 美術館, which is like an art. It's really just an art museum, an art exhibit, right? 美術館. So there's two types of museums in Japanese. Sometimes in English, right, it's all just museum, but usually we specify, oh, it's an art museum, it's a history museum, it's a science museum, right? In Japanese, they really differentiate. 博物館, 美術館. Okay? You will notice both of them have the word kan at the end. Kan. Kan, if you look at the kanji character, right, the Chinese character for kan, it means something like a building or a building, really. It's just a building where things happen, right? So 博物館 is a building that holds artifacts, right? And a 美術館 is a building that holds beautiful treasures, beautiful art, right? Things like that. And then we have the word for a hospital. Hospital. 病院. 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 Okay? Do not confuse this word. Some of you might know another word, not for hospital, but it sounds very similar. 美容院. 美容院. Now, a 病院 and a 美容院 are different. There is a slight difference in pronunciation. Do you hear Do you hear how I'm saying each one? So the one I taught you here is 美容院. The other one I'm talking about is 美容院. 美容院. Okay? Now the first one, 美容院, means hospital. This is the one that we looked at. The second one, 美容院, is a beauty salon, basically, a beauty salon. So be very careful when you are pronouncing these words. 病院, 美容院, right? 病院, 美容院. So don't get confused, please. Oh, I went to the 病院 today. Really? What happened? Oh, I got my hair done. What? You know, you can confuse. All right, and here are the last words that we have, and we will end with this today. The word for birthday, this is a good word, birthday. 誕生日. 誕生日. We had some birthdays here in our JCC group over the past week or so. 誕生日. So happy birthday to everyone with 誕生日. This is the, oh my, there we go, sorry, it does that. Here's another way to say birthday, right? This comes from the English word birthday. 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 Okay? Birthday. Now, you might be wondering, why does Japanese always have, not always, but why does Japanese often have like a Japanese word and like a borrowed word, an English word, maybe. And it's really because I think, this is my opinion, foreign words, like English words, can seem cool, right? They can seem interesting to Japanese people. And so, in my opinion, I think many of these words were starting to be used by by Japanese people, because they thought, oh, this is a cool word. This is a really interesting word, right? I don't want to say 誕生日. I want to say birthday, right? It's cool. Oh, ball. Aru-kun brought me a ball. Yeru? Ball. Oh, サッカーボール. Oh, やったね. サッカー. So cute. Oh gosh. Okay, so anyways, words like birthday become widespread mainly because people think it's cool, right? Birthday. 誕生日, birthday. Here's a word, party, party. Now, there is a Japanese word for like party, but in some cases, right, the foreign word totally replaces the Japanese word, origin word. This is one case, right? They took it from English, party, and now it's really the only word used for party. There are other kinds of parties, and in Japanese, you can say a certain kind of party with using a Japanese word. And let me finish up right here because I think we're going to move on to our Bible study afterward. To have a meal. 食事をします. 食事をします. Or 食事します. 食事. 食事 is a meal, right? します to do. To do a meal. 食事をします. Here's some very important words here. To give and receive. あげます. もらいます. Okay? あげます. もらいます. Let me use a mask. This is my mask. Mask in Japanese. Mask. Mask をあげます. I'm giving a mask. I will give someone a mask. And then I have マスクをもらいます. I am receiving a mask. I'm getting, this is another way to say in English, get. I'm getting a mask. マスクをもらいます. I will get a mask from someone, right? And finally, the word for a card, kado. Kado. Now, here it says birthday card. I mean, yes, a birthday card, you can say just kado or tanjobi kado, right? Birthday kado. But kado can mean really any card, like kuregito kado, a credit card, right? How about the word for cake? Keiki. That's easy, right? Keiki. And last but not least, keiki. Aru-kun said keiki. And last but not least, purezento. Purezento. Present, right? This is a present we give someone. Purezento agemasu. I will give a present, right? Okay, some of these words, a lot of these have to do with birthday parties. So I think if you have a birthday coming up or you know someone with a birthday, try to use these words, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I believe we will be moving on to the Bible study portion next. I'm going to sign off here. See you guys. I think next week I will be in Tokyo, quarantining. I will miss everyone here. See you. Oh my goodness.